In the Krell Empire, biology is a math equation. A muscle fiber of a certain density can exert a specific amount of force. A bone of a certain thickness can bear a specific amount of weight. There are no miracles in Krell physiology, only calculations. They knew exactly how strong a human was. They had dissected enough of us to know our limits down to the last Newton. During the Battle of Sector 7, a Krell heavy walker was hit by an orbital strike. The massive war machine collapsed into a heap of burning durasteel and reactor coolant. Trapped beneath the main chassis were two humans, Corporal Jax, a heavy weapons specialist, and his spotter, Private Kyra. Krell Commander Xylo observed the scene from his command perch. His scanner showed the humans pinned under 5.2 metric tons of dead weight. The small one is crushed, Xylo signaled coldly. The large one is trapped. Human maximum lift capacity under ideal duress is approximately 400 kilograms. The weight upon them is 12 times that amount. They are casualties. Move the line forward. To Xylo the math was irrefutable. The humans were dead because physics said they were dead. Under the wreckage, Kyra was screaming. The chassis was slowly compressing her chest. Jax could hear her ribs starting to crack. He pushed against the metal, but it was like pushing against a mountain. He was a strong man, but he wasn't a machine. Jax. I can't breathe, Kyra gasped, blood bubbling at the corner of her mouth. That was the moment the math broke. Humans possess a biological override switch that few other species have. It's a leftover from our days as prey, a final, desperate nuclear option called hysterical strength. When the brain perceives an absolute, immediate threat to life, especially the life of kin, the hypothalamus floods the body with a lethal dose of adrenaline and noradrenaline. It turns off the body's safety limiters. Normally, your brain only lets you use about 60% of your muscle mass to prevent you from ripping your own tendons off the bone. In this state, you use 100%. Jax didn't decide to lift the tank. His biology decided for him. A roar tore from Jax's throat that didn't sound human. It was a guttural, primal sound that cut through the noise of the battlefield. He jammed his shoulder under the edge of the 5-ton chassis and pushed with his legs. Commander Xylo's scanner alarms began to shriek. Warning, biological anomaly detected. Target subject's heart rate is 220 BPM. Blood pressure critical. Muscular tension exceeding structural integrity thresholds. Jax's biceps tore. The sound of snapping tendons echoed like cables parting in a storm. His own femur cracked under the strain. But he didn't stop. The pain wasn't registered by his flooded brain. There was only the objective, lift. Slowly, impossibly, the 5-ton wreck began to move. Dust plumed around Jax as his boots cracked the concrete beneath him. The Krell soldiers stopped firing, watching in horrified fascination as this soft, fleshy mammal performed a feat that should have required a hydraulic crane. With one final, agonizing heave, Jax lifted the chassis 3 feet off the ground, high enough for Kyra to roll free. Jax held it for 3 seconds. Then his body finally gave out. He dropped the wreckage with a thunderous crash and collapsed into the dust, his arms hanging uselessly at his sides, his chest heaving. Commander Xylo stared at his data pad. The math said 0 chance. The reality said the human had just bench-pressed a tank. They break themselves, Xylo whispered, a new emotion creeping into his voice, fear. They will tear their own bodies apart to achieve a goal. There is no safety limit. There is no self-preservation. Jax wasn't dead. He staggered to his feet, his arms ruined, his leg broken. But the adrenaline was still pumping. He glared at the Krell line, his eyes burning with a chemical fury. He looked ready to fight the entire army with his teeth. The Krell retreated. They didn't want to fight a species that could turn off its own biology. The Galactic Council's new entry on human physiology was marked with a triple red skull warning. Advisory: do not assume a human is subdued because they are physically pinned or cornered. Humans possess a red-line state, known as hysterical strength. In extreme duress, they can access 100% of their muscular potential, consciously sacrificing their long-term physical integrity for a momentary burst of impossible power. They will break their own bones to break you. A trapped human is not a victim, they are a biological bomb waiting to detonate. Humanity had proven the ultimate biological HFY truth. The universe has limits. Physics has rules. But a human with enough adrenaline and a reason to fight doesn't care about either of them. We are the ones who redline. We are the ones who break the safety switch. And if you think you have us pinned, you're about to see just how hard we can push back.